Cults exist all over the world. But what if I told you that some cults have made their way to your fingertips? Hi, I'm Austin, and this is Discord's most disturbing cults. These Discord cults go by several different names. You have Har Nation, 764, Slit Bunnies, and Starved Summer. All of these are different communities, and most of them have different people, but all of them share one common goal. They each target underage kids, and today you're going to get a very small glimpse about what these people have to go through. Okay, so Har Nation is a community that prioritizes making their own necro content. From real-life rape videos to animal abuse to even extorting children for pictures and videos. To understand how these communities work, they use videos and pictures that they get from children as like a digital currency. And they can use this digital currency to buy and sell and trade with other people within the same community. And unfortunately, there are people that do this that genuinely make a very good living. One user, when I was doing the research on this, claimed that he made over $100,000 per month just buying and selling these pictures. It's very interesting though, because the way they actually target their victims is a pretty complex process that can take months to even years to complete. First, what they do is they figure out which person they want to attack. And we already know they prioritize attacking children, and where do you think most children kind of group up to nowadays? For example, if they're going to target children, most of the time they'll go into some kind of online gaming community such as like Minecraft or Roblox, just because the general population there is typically under the age of about 13. But what you don't see in these online gaming communities is the predators lurking in the shadows behind. They start by joining a server where kids go to just hang out with their friends, and once they get into the server, now comes the tough part as gaining trust within the community. You're going to notice a very familiar pattern here in a second, because all of this doesn't work unless they have trust from both users. The predators will go in the servers and they'll start doing good deeds for people, such as maybe cleaning up some of the moderate chat, or clearing out servers, or kicking and banning toxic people. I mean, they really do their best to help out. When these good deeds are done throughout a Discord community, they can be given special privileges, also known as different roles. Roles in a Discord server are categories that organize server members and can define their appearance and privilege. For example, in my own server, I can assign a user access to like staff chat or assign a new user as helpful. And once I give the helpful role to somebody, it will basically change the color of their username to allow other members in that community to know that this is a user that has been trusted. And this makes it extremely easy for these predators to attack these victims, because these victims already assume that the user they're talking to on the other end of the line is trusted. So I'm guessing you're asking the burning question now, how does all of this work once the trust has been established? Well, there's two big ways that all of this happens, and the first one we're going to call scareware. The attacker will start by first getting the victim's first and their last name. Once the hacker has this information, he's able to use the first and last name to basically dox the entire person. They'll get the home address, what school they go to, what their parents' names are, maybe grandparents, how much money their parents make. I mean, they're going to try and get as much information as possible. Once they have all of this information, they can use that same information that they got online, and they can use it to threaten the victim. The first threats that usually occur is, I'll get your parents fired from your job, I'll spread a rumor about you through your school, or I'll SWAT you. At this point, the children are terrified because you have this random dude on a Discord server basically knowing all of your information, and he's threatening you. They start pleading with the attacker, like, please don't, I'll do anything, please make this stop. And instead of stopping, the attacker will then message them and say, I'll make it stop if you just do one thing for me. It's at this very point in the conversation where things are going to escalate from bad to worse. It'll start by the attacker saying, send me a picture of your face, and the kid sends a picture of his face. Then it goes from, send me a picture of your face this time, but I want you to be smiling. So the kid takes his phone and takes a picture of his face, having a smile. Now it's, send me a picture of you, but don't have your shirt on for this one. At this point, a lot of the kids are saying like, no, I can't do that, this is wrong. To which the predator says, hey, remember what happens if you don't, time's ticking. Usually at this point, the kid is pretty freaked out by who he's talking to, so he kind of stops responding, to which the person starts messaging him again, one after another, basically just spamming him saying like, I told you to do this or else. And these threats, one after another, will continuously keep happening until the victim ends up sending the picture without a shirt on. And once the picture has been sent, the victim now becomes what this community calls slaves. Basically, these kids will do whatever you want now. Now that the predator has all of these videos and these photos, he can then use those same videos and photos to request for more. Things will escalate from taking a picture of your face or taking a picture without your shirt on to, hey, send me a video of you using a knife and writing my name in your arm. In the multiple testimonies that I've actually read from victims, that is a real life thing that happened, except from it happening on their arm, they made it write it on their thigh or like their side of their neck. I mean, it was basically a scar tattoo, if you would. And these pictures and videos are being sent one after another, and the predator is basically just collecting all of these to then again use on him in the future. And once the predator has all of this illicit material from this kid, he can then use those same exact pictures and videos to threaten him, be like, hey, send me more of those pictures and videos, because if you don't, I'm gonna send the ones you've already sent me to all your friends at school. I'll send it to your family, I'll post them online. I mean, it terrifies these kids. It's an endless cycle that constantly keeps going down the rabbit hole, and unfortunately, a lot of these times, these children feel like they can't get out of this rabbit hole, and a lot of them end up, committing suicide. The best way to explain the way the first one works is it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. The second way is what I like to call the pay-to-play method. Instead of using threats to start the initial conversation, they'll use some sort of money, maybe like whether it's cash or maybe sending Bitcoin, or in most cases for children, it's sending in-game items. Like maybe it's, hey, if you do this for me, I'll give you this much Robux, or I'll give you this many V-Bucks, or whatever the case is. The way the attackers look at this method is they only ever have to pay once, because once they have all the material, they'll then just extort you for the rest of it. This particular method actually happens to more people kind of my age instead of children. It's especially popular in teenagers. Like, let's just be real. For example, I know girls, and I know you do too, who have had those weird Instagram creepy DM messages from guys basically saying like, hey, I'll send you $150 if you send me a picture of your feet. And the thing is, we'll joke about these things because we're like, yeah, that's so stupid, that's easy money. But what you don't see is they only are gonna pay this a couple times, because once that trust has been established, they'll be like, hey, I have these pictures of your feet, I'm gonna send them to these people. And they'll maybe say, hey, if you can take a picture without your shirt on, I'll give you $300 instead of the $100 I gave you. The reason these people start off with feet is because we kind of view it as a joke in our generation. I mean, like, I know people, and probably I would too, if somebody was saying, hey, I'll give you $200 for a foot picture, duh, that's easy money. But the reason they do this is to gain that trust from within you, because once I start sending $200 foot pictures, all of a sudden the guy says, hey, you want to make some more money? I'll give you $1,000 if you take a picture without your shirt on. And you already have the trust between you two, so you're like, oh yeah, he's never sent these photos to people before. I mean, I can make $1,000. All I have to do is press the picture button. A lot of these people will do it. They'll send the picture and video without their shirt on for the $1,000, because you gotta remember, the predator looks at this as, I only ever have to pay this once, because once I get these pictures and videos, I'm then gonna extort you, and then whatever videos and pictures you send to me after that, I'm just gonna sell them to other people in the community. This is how all of these little cults work. They all work together, and from what I was reading, a lot of these cult members will actually start their own Discord servers for children just to be able to target them later in the future. Discord has been actively trying to stop these communities from collecting together, but it doesn't stop anything. They'll just create a new server, or they'll move to other platforms like Telegram or WhatsApp or any of those, or Kik. Kik's a big one too. In one case, the federal government got involved and actually arrested a bunch of members within the community. But I mean, if you arrest 5 people, it's the same concept as kill one head, 2 more spawn, right? It's impossible to catch all of these people because the internet already alone is pretty hard to track people down. And we're not talking about 50 to 100 people do this. I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of people are in these communities, and this is all they do for a living. And these things don't just stop on the internet. In one case, a member from the group called 764 was arrested for physically kidnapping a woman. The conversations between him and the woman started over the internet, but the dude was crazy and he literally went to the house and kidnapped her. So how can you protect yourself from this? First, you have to start by recognizing the signs. I know that's generic advice, but some of the usernames I've seen is Neo, Naro, Trash, HN764. If people have these numbers and letters in their username, it typically associates them with one of these members of the cult. These members love gloating and showing off what community they're in, and they have no problem putting it as their username. Another very generic piece of advice I can give you is just be careful who you watch online or who you talk to. You don't know the other person behind the camera or the computer or whatever the case is. Always make sure you have your guard up and don't trust any of these people. If you or somebody you know has been a victim of this, I encourage you to click the links down below and submit a complaint to the FBI. I know that sounds major and it might be scary, but what do you have to lose? It's time that people start getting justice for this, and I hate the fact that there are people online who have no consequences for their actions. Just think, the people in these communities are people me and you walk past every day in public. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you guys learned something new on how to protect yourself from these. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys with a brand new video soon.